Alpha 20 is coming with a bunch of new zombies and entities, and I wanted to take the opportunity to look through what we've been shown so far so that we can all admire the great new looks. Keep in mind, nothing of this is final. The Fun Pimps have been known to make changes, but let's first start with the roadmap entries to baseline sort of what to expect, because as we know, there's been a lot of talk about the different zombies and everything, and it's good to sort of read what the Fun Pimps really say themselves about what's coming. You'll see here an extract of what's on the forums themselves from the Fun Pimps, where they say we have Trader Hugh, we have the nurse, we have the drone, which should that be in Alpha 19? Anyway, we have the Screamer, Fat Cop, Burnt Zombie, Cold Hot and Flaming, Hoodie Dude, isn't that the Thug Zombie? Whatever, Skateboarder, Lumberjack, and the Radiated Zombie. What's a Radiated Zombie, you ask? Actually, it's a really good question, and we'll come back to that. But first, a big welcome to my channel, to this video. I'm Vedui42 and I make guides, tutorials, first look of games and features, and I cover news and updates in a bunch of games, and 7 Days to Die is where we are today. I have plenty of playlists for you to enjoy, and with new content every week, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, that way you don't miss any. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up as well. Special offer today, free just for you. First off, let's look at the traders, and we have our Hugh, and I think that's obviously going to be is the snow biome trader. And, very appropriately dressed. I really love that pelt that he has sort of as a cape. I'm sure there's a story behind it, and look at the loss of his eye. A claw taken to the face. But he looks good. I wish we had a little bit more story. Maybe you should tell some of that when you go up and talk to him. Maybe you could share something about, oh, have you heard that story about the time I took on that beast of the wilderness? Oh, it took out my eye. Or whatever you want to do in obviously a better voice. Fun Pimps, maybe I offer doing some voiceovers. I'm sure we can work something out there. Anyway, fine. But I think it looks really good, and I love the new model. But Hugh is actually not the only trader. We, of course, have Trader Joel, the new HG that they said was going to come in Alpha 20, but anyway, don't we just love to see better traders? I mean, look at that. Those sunnies, that cigar. Oh, really, really good. I really wish when I see these, especially for the NPCs, I wish that we could look like this. Why can't we have better character models that at least look something similar? I mean, not exactly the same. Who wants to look like Joel or Hugh? But something that looks, similar kind of quality, and not these quite old and dated character profiles that we're having right now. I wish we could look as cool and handsome as Joel. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see all the different traders having even better looks as we get along. And of course, we also have the junk drone that they said was going to come in Alpha 19, but even though it was almost ready, it actually never turned up. And now we're here more than a year later, and the Fun Pimps have said that the junk drone will show up in Alpha 20. I am gonna assume that's gonna happen, but it never can be guaranteed anything. I wish it comes in. We'll see what happens. They seem to have removed some of the weapons on it, so it's almost just gonna be something that could heal you, maybe just cash a little bit of inventory for you, and that's about it, which I think is a little bit of a pity, because it seemed like such a cool concept. But better late than never, I suppose. Now, the Screamer was recently announced, the HD Screamer, and people quite frequently label her as terrifying. And I agree. Look at that face and those, I'm not going to call it teeth, they're more like fangs. She really is terrifying. From the back, she looks, a bit unkempt and everything, but when you look at that front, oh no. But I love the teeth. I really love that they've done that, because you can tell it's not just regular human teeth that sort of like, this person died and then she got reanimated and now she's walking around and screaming and everything. No. It's like those teeth have really grown, which must be something related to the virus, the zombie virus that is causing them to mutate. Maybe a little bit like the white that I think are going to be removing. You have the cop that is vomiting acid and everything, and we'll get into that, the gasser that looks obviously very different, but you can sort of tell that there is a progression, and I wish they would do that with the basic zombies. Then you would have more that are more zombify, more mutated and everything into something that is terrifying. Give us some of those bosses that will make the game even more challenging and more fun. But I really like this model, especially the face. The rest of the body is a little bit drab and dull and everything, but that face, I hope when you see her that she sort of opens and closes that mouth and everything, gives you that chewing mouth motion. That's going to be awesome. And you can see here from the cop, the new HD cop, it definitely, you can see those green, it's called pustules, whatever, that is sort of growing on his face, on his body, the virus that is just growing. And it makes me wonder sort of, what's the story behind how this, like the regular zombies are, are they just reanimated and then they sort of, the virus grows inside them? But the new cop looks really good. I mean, he looks gross and disgusting, but it looks good. And I guess that greenness, is sort of the acid and everything that is inside, which is, well, when he vomits at you, all that acid, and of course, when he explodes. Maybe that's what happens when you eat way too many old donuts. Or maybe you have donuts in your body, they turn you into something like this. So kids, don't eat too much sugar, not good for you. I've always liked the burnt zombie. I just wish it would move a little bit faster, but it's definitely getting an updated look. A bit thinner, burnt down, well, I guess shriveled. And I believe the idea is for the basic cold one, they say, is just a regular tier 1. And then you have the feral tier 2, which is sort of on fire a bit. And then you have that flaming tier 3 zombie variant. Curiously, you might notice that he's not radiated. So it appears that the flaming bit of him, of the flaming variant, is the tier 3. No radiation, but flaming. And I wonder what he does. I mean, you could imagine that sort of the flames maybe even healing him because of how the virus is working, because obviously he's not dying from it. And maybe more realistically, setting anyone within a short distance from him, set them on fire, maybe debilitate them a little bit because of the intense heat. Something like that is going to be real interesting to see. What kind of special abilities could they sort of wrap around it rather than just, he looks like he's on fire and that's it. Do something more about it. But let's move on to the Thug Zombie, the Hoodie Man, whatever, skateboarder. And, he looks like he's finished, and he has been in some of the screenshots. We have not really been treated to the full view of him like we have some of the other models where you can sort of see them from the front, back, side, and sort of zoomed in. Funpimps maybe should do that for this one as well, because he looks interesting. You can see, that glow in the sides, which is probably the feral variant. Makes me wonder, what are they going to do? Is he just going to be a garden variety of zombie that, just like anyone else, he'll walk around, run around and try to eat you up? Or could there be something more? Maybe he's a little bit faster than the other ones because, maybe he's a bit more fitter. At least for a zombie. In past versions of the game, one of the zombies that I always really enjoyed, well, maybe not in close quarters, but it's the Lumberjack. It's a solid model, high damage, high health. He's always made the snow biome harder because, he had, I think, about almost twice the health of a regular one. He would hit harder, and that would make the snow biome harder. And, you can tell that they have sort of defocused that snow a bit. He looks great, and I do suspect that he's going to be appearing in forested areas as well, not just the snow, because you can tell the difference from the previous one where he was this kind of cold, snowy, whitish, and this is sort of more of the regular regular Lumberjack. It would actually be cool, this is something that struck me just when I was thinking this through. It would be cool if the coloring would change depending on where they're spawning. You could imagine if they're spawning in the snow biome, it would be white, black, frozen from the snow, maybe a bit more dried, burnt yellow, dark skin in the desert and stuff like that, to keep the same general zombie, but differences depending on where they actually appear. Now the final zombie in the list is the Radiated Zombie, and well, even the Funpimp seems to have put question marks to him. Is it a whole new special zombie? Are they removing the radiation from the tier 3 zombies, such as the burnt one now being a flaming? I don't know. They haven't really communicated or shown anything much about that, but that's going to be interesting to see. Maybe it's a really special radiated. If you remember, for a couple of years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, whatever, they were talking about having this special radiated zombie that could heal and resurrect. Is it called resurrect? The reanimate destroy. Anyway, that could bring up the zombies that you had bashed up, killed, destroyed, whatever, and bring them up to fight again. Maybe that's something they're doing, and actually that would be really cool. But wait, there's actually more! Now we're getting into the zombies and things that actually have been showcased by the Fun Pimps, but are not on the list, which I'm not really sure. We have, of course, the Hazmat guy. You know, the guy who lost his boot, and that's, one of the reasons why he got infected. This crawler just took a bite of him. He looks really good. Look at that broken faceplate. And you can see at those eyes, those dead look eyes. Now, I'm not talking about the dead look. I'm talking about they look sort of dead and non-functioning. So how does he see players, right? I mean, other people. How does he see them if the eyes are not like all these whitish over? Interesting. But actually, that would be cool to have a zombie that, he can't quite see, so he sort of goes around and swings sort of violently without quite pinpointing where the enemy is. I think that could actually be pretty cool. Another model that seems to have been forgotten is the new zombie dog. Everyone loves to hate their dogs. Personally, I hate him. I still love seeing him rush me, except for when I died. If you caught my retro series where I went through the old versions from Alpha 9 upwards, I believe, you probably saw me die quite a few times to these horrible beasts. Oh, he does look like he would mess you up with those teeth. He looks a little bit, I don't know, it's not quite burnt. It's more like scratched or scraped and everything into the fur, pelt, whatever it's called on the dog. Fur has been scraped off because, or maybe scabbed off, but he does look better or worse than the previous model. And the list goes on for the non-mentioned zombies. We have the nurse zombies that they have actually showcased in the past. And she looks good. It's more of a normal, modern kind of outfit. And while the nurse have been, it's been teased a long back, we haven't really gotten a super good look at her. I wish they would do the same thing they've done with some other ones. Show her front, back, center, give us some close-ups and everything like that. So we can really get to see how she looks in high-quality screenshots. Fun Pimps, you know what to do. As you can see, there are plenty of new awesome HD models, better textures, and actually even a few surprises that are being thrown in. The last one I wanted to cover is actually the Gasser. That was supposed to be this Gasser zombie that had this cloud of debilitating, toxic fumes around it. I don't know what they're doing with this one, because they did mention that he's making its way into Alpha 20, but the Fun Pimps have also said that they're not going to put in any real special abilities for any of the zombies. And that makes me wonder, what are they doing? Because this is a new model, and I think he will look really cool. He does look like something that potentially could explode. I mean, looking at those, I guess, acid sacs and everything around, maybe they could shift the explosion from the cop zombie over to this Gasser and sort of have him explode when he goes after the player or something. But I don't know, it's not that easy to balance, but I really hope that they do confirm that they're bringing him into Alpha 20, because they do say they have, but that's all they really said, because he looks really good. I wish we could get more views of him as well, to sort of see him in action, to see how does he move and how does he really look. Does those virus things, do they pulsate or something? Is unearthly glowing green look? I don't know. But nothing is ever set in stone with 7 Days to Die. Whatever you think you're gonna get, you might or might not get it once the actual version comes rolling around. But they have taken great strides forward, making all of these ones look better. So which is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below right after you hit that thumbs up, right? Have a great time. I will definitely see you around. Unless the zombies see you and eat you first.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.